What's up, guys? Today we are working on the coupe on the Mustang. We're going to put a water pump on it, and I figured I would take you guys with me and show you guys how to do it. I'll show you the setup real quick.
Howdy.
Familiar face. We have the Mustang here in all its glory. We're going to be removing this fan shroud and the old clutch fan that's on it, because I have a electric fan and stuff that I am going to put on it, just to give you guys an idea of what a water pump looks like on an old school 5.0. There's a gasket, and this is her in all her glory. It sits on there in this fashion, but yeah, it's just right there on the front of the motor. Shouldn't take too long, but I always kick myself for it. Also bought a electric fan controller because my car still has air and heat, and I would just like the fan to work properly. So anyway, got that, and yeah, so we're about to get this thing started. I will keep you guys updated. Okay, so we started by taking this bolt here out of the reservoir, and then you have to take these two bolts off the top of the fan shroud, and then you have to take the 4 bolts off of the actual fan itself. And I'm going to try to get you guys down in here so you can see we got that one left, but there's 4 of them in that same location. You see it sticking out there. After we take it out, the fan and the shroud will come out together, and then it's pretty self-explanatory from there, but we're going to walk you guys through it. Okay, so once you got the shroud and the fan off, you're going to be looking at the water pump here, and you just need to take off everything that's in the way to get this off. As you can see, this AC compressor bracket is in the way, all the hoses that are connected to it, the alternator, looks like it's got a bracket or a bolt from the bracket that goes to it as well. And yeah, so it's pretty much just looking at it, assessing what needs to come off, what needs to go, and taking that part off.
Piece by piece.
Let's get to it. Alright, so after you get that bracket off that was going around the AC compressor and the power steering pump, you can easily access the water pump. And like I said earlier, you just take off these 2 hoses here, and then you got some various nuts and bolts to pull out, and then she just pops right off.
Now, when you pull this apart, be mindful, because not all of these bolts are the same length, and if you try to put the wrong bolt in the wrong hole, it either won't reach the threads or it will bust the timing cover or the block or the water pump. Make sure you put your bolts where they came from.
Just take a mental note of where you pulled what from where.
Something else you can do is you can take your box that the water pump came in, and if you're just real crafty, you can trace out your water pump and then jab holes in the cardboard and set your bolts in the exact orientation where they go, if that's the way you want to do it.
But all right, we'll we'll bring you guys back as soon as we get that off.
Alright, so after you get all the bolts out of the water pump, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all you gotta do, just knock it. If it's been on here for a while, you may have to hit it with a hammer, but it should just come out like so. And then, so this hole right here, can't see it because it's real dirty, but that's called a weep hole, and it's, while this spins in there, there's a seal, and with age that seal will rupture or dry rot or crack, and then it'll start leaking out of that hole like this one has here, and that tells you that this bad boy is bad. So once your water pump is off, you're going to use razor blade scraper or a Roloc disc if you have a die grinder, and you're going to clean the mating surface where the gasket sits around the perimeter of the water pump. You're going to clean it as good as you can, get all the old gasket, RTV, etc. off of it, and then you want to let that sit for a second and dry. And while you're waiting on that to dry, you want to get your new boy, and you want to get your new gasket. Now to only orientate one way, like so. It's got 2 divots in here to go around these bottom 2, and then the rest of everything should line up as long as you got the right stuff. What you're going to do is you're going to take your choice of silicone or none. Some people swear by none, some people use different types. It's just all a matter of preference. And you're going to dab a little bit, and then you're going to spread it where the gasket is going to ride, live, sit, seal. You don't have to cake it, just a little, a thin but even spread. And once you get your thin film, you're going to take your gasket, you're going to set it on it, press it down onto the plate, press it into the glue. You want to get all your holes lined up prior to this, or as you're doing this. Makes it a lot easier getting it on the timing cover without sliding around. And the better you can get this to stay in this one position, the better you are. So once you get it pressed down where you feel comfortable, you're going to walk away from a second and just let that tack up. And then for the second act of your RTV adventures, you want to repeat the same process, but on the face of the timing cover. Let your glue and your gasket tack up. You're going to want to slide the pump back on it, tighten these in a circular pattern, snug them up first, and let the gasket seal all the way around before you go King Kong on the bolts. Now in this case, it's getting late in the evening, and for the longevity's sake of this here water pump, I have snugged all the bolts all the way around, pretty tight, but not torqued tight. And we're going to let this sit overnight, and that's going to let the gasket set, all of the RTV set, and overnight, since it's aluminum, it will shrink and expand back and forth. And tomorrow when we come back, these bolts that are now tight will either be finger tight or very, very close to being loose, where that has shrunk. So you want to, in our case, we're going to tighten it, walk away from it, and then come back tomorrow and retighten it. And after that second torque, as long as your gasket is touching all the right spots, your RTV is in all the right spots, you should not have to worry about it again. So we're going to let this chill, come back, finish it up tomorrow.
What's up, guys? New day. How you doing? So we got the water pump on last night. Let it sit, let the RTV do its thing. We're going to retorque it, assemble the rest of the front of the motor, and then get started on the electric fan setup that we're going to put on it. And that's for the only reason that I'm even doing that is because I am going turbo, and that has to be done before I can put the kit on. So I figured while we're already here, might as well go ahead and take care of that. But yeah, the front of the motor will be on here just a second. And just like that, the front of the engine is back together. Got the water pump completely installed with pulley, the bracket, and then the serpentine belt. And now we're going to get started on the electric fan install. And I'll show you guys how to do that right about now. Alright, got the electric fan installed. We also put one of the temperature controllers for an electric fan on there as well. And as you can see, the wiring is minimal because of the placement of where we put said controller.
Dun, 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 dun.
Is under the battery, in the battery box. It's really nice. I think that's probably the best place for one if you go to install one.
Make it nice, neat, and hidden.
But yeah,
If you have a factory battery box.
so that is how you install a water pump and a electric fan on a Fox body. Really hope you guys enjoyed. There's going to be plenty more videos of not really just how-tos. There's going to be some racing, some everything. I mean, we're not
something coming.
We're not just Mustang people. We like all cars. For example, we have this beater Civic here. If you'll pop the hood, and we went for the sleeper look on it, and I know you guys are probably going to think I'm lying, but we really did build a sleeper because I don't know how well the light is, but as you can see, we've got a spoolie boy on this dual overhead cam ZC engine. It's actually a D series, with one of the only D series with a dual overhead cam setup. But yeah, she's tuned on Honda S300. I could show you all that mess in here too. We're still in the process of tuning it, and we're gonna take you guys on that track with us as well. But yeah, it's the real deal, and that's just a little teaser video, let you guys know that we're not just muscle car heads. We like everything. We literally, if it's fast or has an engine that sounds good or just runs and drives great in general, we mess with it. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace. She's alive. Been sitting on jack stands for 2 years. Started right up. Woo! Shout out to my man Blaine for all the help. And it's only gonna get better from here. Peace.